Our brains pulsate and vibrate. And these pulsations, these vibrations, are measured, just like sound, in cycles per second. Now, I'm not talking about the actual molecular structure of the brain. This is something else. I'm not talking about the resonant frequency of the brain. I'm talking about the pulsations, the rhythmic functions of the brain that determine, on one level or another, different states of activity and perhaps different states of consciousness. The brain pulses and vibrates. And these pulsations, these vibrations, have been broken down into 4 major delineations which oftentimes relate to many different types of activities. The first main delineation of brainwave activity is called beta. And I'm going to try to demonstrate to a degree beta to you right now. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit faster, and I'm going to tell you that when you're in a beta state of consciousness, probably you're really going to be focusing on doing something right now, here and now. Perhaps it's banking, perhaps it's talking on the telephone, perhaps it's doing some sort of really interactive experience that really needs to get done now. You're working on something, you want to get it done. You're probably speaking a little bit faster, your brain's going faster, your heartbeat and respiration are going faster, and you're getting stuff done and you're dealing with the physical plane right now. And this is really good and this is really important because beta is really good for here and now activity, particularly on the physical planet, and whether it's doing business or whether it's doing some sort of activity, you're getting it done. You can see the way. And I'm trying to entrain everybody here and there to the idea of what it feels like to be in beta for just a minute, because, okay, you know, we deal with beta a lot in life. In fact, we deal with beta so much that probably the world is a little bit out of balance in terms of being too beta-oriented. Because when you're in beta and you want to get stuff done right now and you can feel what I'm doing like this, you don't really think about what the repercussions for what you're doing are going to happen tomorrow or the next day or the next generation or the next generation after that. Some of the really extraordinary indigenous people on this planet will not do something until they consider the ramifications for at least 7 generations. And that probably, with those people, has kept them from causing a world out of balance, a world in chaos, a world that really needs great assistance. This concept of really focusing in on our next generation and our children's children is so important. And it usually doesn't come when you are in a beta state of consciousness, because you really don't think about those sort of things and you can feel this. And now I'm going to, as I have been doing, drop down a little bit to the next brainwave delineation state, and this is called alpha. And I think I'll sit down for alpha. Now, alpha is around 7 or 8 cycles a second to around 12 or 13. Light meditation, creative visualization, daydreaming, these all occur with alpha, and alpha is a wonderful state to be in. I remember when the first days of biofeedback occurred, and I'd walk in on a friend who would be sitting in a lotus position with his eyes closed saying, "Don't bother me, man, I'm an alpha." And I would kind of walk out of the room going, "Oh, alpha." But since then, we have found many, many other states of brainwave activity that are related to deep, enhanced states of consciousness. There is a particular frequency which is called the Schumann Resonance. It's approximately 7.8 cycles a second, although, like anything else, it pulsates. It goes up to about 8, 8.5, and goes then back down. And this Schumann Resonance is said to be the resonant frequency of the ionosphere of the Earth. I first encountered information about this years ago from a wonderful book called Stalking the Wild Pendulum by a scientist by the name of Itzhak Bentov. Dr. Bentov believed that during states of meditation, as people moved into this very low 7.8 cycles a second alpha range, that one would entrain, their brainwaves would entrain with the energy of not only the ionosphere of the Earth, but of actually the Gaia consciousness, so that one would be able to access greater realms of consciousness through entrainment at this particular frequency. Dr. Bentov suggested that when one was meditating and able to entrain with this 7.8 cycles second Schumann resonance, you would actually entrain with the energies of the Earth and what could be perceived of as the Gaia matrix.